Oh, that's the camel I was looking at. Right. Right. Okay. So I can upgrade these vaults very soon. Once I've completed more missions. I guess I can complete quite a few today because we'll be playing Uprising later. I got a ton of time slot certificates I want to clear. So yeah, I'll be playing that later. But first thing first, welcome to the first day of round robin of Clan Wars Asia. Things got a bit out of hand, and yeah, basically we changed up almost everything of the tournament, the main tournament. We now got 6 teams left instead of 4, and we got a 16 round robin instead of 14 round robin, and you know everything is changing up a bit. So today we'll stream 2 matches, tomorrow we'll take a rest, Friday we'll stream 2 matches, Saturday we'll take a rest, and Sunday we'll stream 2 matches. And then it will be then the 3rd place match, and then the grand finals, and then we'll have a show match between the winners of this entire cluster versus E7, which I don't know. It's a mess by now, so it is something that we're actually going ahead with this. You know, that's all. It is something. That's all. That's all we need. So it's 9v versus Feast. The maps are shown on the training room. Rockfield, Fort Despair, Middleburg, and Vineyards. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that. Surely looks good, right? Actually, on New Bay, that one looks a bit fucked. I'll go with this one. Hopefully things look good in the game. But, we should be getting started very soon. As both teams are currently soon to be ready. Let's see, what else? Oh, the new camo, isn't it? Yeah, the new camo. And then some boosters. Screw you. Screw you. Screw you. And screw you. I think we're in the match. No, actually not. We're soon to be in the match. Okay, that's good. That's good. Good to know. Good to know. So we'll be so first map will be Rockfield. It's a very open map. There are very much height difference. The A side, C side, team picks one side and then just hold it, capture base. If you got captain's advantage, you push, or you play funny gameplay, and just make the enemy think you're gonna be pushing somewhere, and then they make some mistake, and then if they don't make a mistake, you lose. So something along the lines of that. But it appears that both teams are ready, so the game would start now. Feast as usual, bring the double Yos, double E5, double IS4, 1 T20 to a very heavy centered lineup, while 9V is bringing Also quite a heavy center lineup, but with 50 EB instead. And also the Crown Wagon instead of Yo. Yeah, but they still bring it Vicus instead of an T22. So things would look, you know, I would say interesting at the very least. And Feast seems to be going for pretty widespread towards AB early games. There's only Mum Milkers, James, and Z-Pack going for A side. While 9V is going for a bit slightly heavier than what Feast are doing. But they don't seem to want to contest too deep onto a bit too early. But Necromancer is now contesting B cap, so we should be able. So there are 9Vs are gonna make any kind of push right now. It's gonna be right now. Reaper, Intel, and then XPA are making a push onto James. They want to track him, otherwise he would get away with it. Somebody track him, or no. That means he's gonna be now hiding in this little slot here, but he's gonna get taken down. Money Milkers and Z-Pack want to get out of dodge as soon as possible because they're now in a very open situation. Money Milkers able to get down, Z-Pack also able to go down to safety. And meanwhile, Vickers like Leafia are getting focused to death. He's now one shot. Sugu want to turn around for him. He might not have the time to connect a shot, so he doesn't. So he stays safe for now. If Silver's chasing for him, no, so he's gonna go down regardless. Hit points is now in heavily favor of Feast. 2k, slightly around 2k. Z-Pack is getting caught though, so Feast might lose another tank before they're able to crawl back anything. So it's gonna be a 2-tank to 2-tank trade. Well, things are still looking pretty good for Feast. Still 1k hit point advantage at the very least. Though XPA goes down, and there's a 3 vs 4 fight up there. If 9V is able to get Sugu and Mugu out, as they do, that's a very brilliant focus fire from them. 1.6k just gone like that. They want to get rid of his surprise, or actually just turn back for Necromancer. Either way they decide for his surprise, they'll be pushing all in. They can't be bouncing shot at this stage. So let's hope a Reaper is able to get into safety before his surprise get all 3 shot reloaded. Intel couldn't really be missing that shot. But he does go down. F Silver will have to deal with Intel first because and also Necromancer has to be coming in as well. So Intel will have to try to block for his teammate while ooh, that miss is gonna be a bit interesting. Feast has lost his hit point advantage, but the issue now is Feast still got a mobility and 9V does not have a mobility. So F Silver's can do a lot of damage in this situation if 9V does not clear him soon. And 9V only landing 1 shot out of these many shots. That's gonna be a bit of a tricky situation for 9V as F Silver takes down yet another tank. Blackie's now gonna be pushing onto F Silver. That's a max roll onto F Silver, but I don't think they're able to take down F Silver before he kills another tank. Intel though is down. Both tanks are in 1 vs 1, so F Silver could potentially win Blackie despite having a hit point disadvantage here, while Necromancer should be winning that fight with Intel. He does win that, so it's gonna be Blackie here trying to win a 1 vs 2 situation. Hit point is still slightly in the favor of him, so if he pens this upcoming shot onto the T22, he would be in a very comfortable position of not having to worry too much about hit points. Though he has to fight with Necromancers, and he doesn't seem like he knows where he's coming from. But DPM wise, it's gonna be as for winning him any time of the day. So if he's able to block 1 shot from Necromancer and hit both of his shots, and not low roll, obviously, that would be very advantageous for Blackie. Though that's what happened. So it's gonna be a 1 shot for Blackie, but he has to high roll a slightly bit, and Necromancer will have to max roll like not even. So Blackie needs a pen AP. He does bounce, so that should be Necromancer picking up the pieces, and that should be Feast with their first point. Or not. Did I say it too early? Blackie has 1 more chance. Oh, Blackie does take him down. That was unexpected. I thought Necromancer would have connected that shot 100%. It was meant to be 100% connection for that, but he bounced it. So, yeah, 9V pulled that off. So looking at the score, things are looking very, very good for both teams. Both teams have a very, very strong focus fire. Leafia in the Vic has done a bit less than others. James did 0. Z-Pack did a bit less. But other than that, both teams had all players carrying their own weight. Blackie did 5k. Elf Ivy? AV? I don't know. That's how I'm gonna call it AV. AV doing 4.7. That's pretty brilliant. Reaper also doing 3.1. As you can tell, both teams have players carrying their own weight a lot. But as you can see, the early push from 9v caught Feast a bit off guard as James was taken down very, very quickly, though Leafy in return was getting caught as well. So things turned into a very, very messy brawl from the very start. And despite the hit-point disadvantage at start, 9v were able to crawl back most of them very, very quickly. So especially when especially with the Crowns, but like because the Crowns have very low DPM, that basically meant it was very, very hard for 9v to crawl back because the Crowns has very low DPM. Is my game crashing? I guess my game is crashing. Why? Why is my game crashing? Bro. Alright, I have to restart my game then. And we're back. Good. We still managed to make it back in time. But yeah, like with the Crown Wagons of a 9v, you would expect them to even keep dropping those hit points because they got hit point. They're equal on tank traits, but because of using a Crowns, that meant that the Crowns has less DPM, and in theory, that would mean that 9v should have less of a effective damage compared to Feast, right? But that wasn't the case. 9v was able to crawl back most of the damage that happened. And yeah, like that was a bit of a surprising situation for 9v to pull back from. And yeah, that's how we see them coming back from that a slight hit point 1k 1.3 1.4k hit point deficit at that stage. So now going back to Rockfield once again, Feast have a Chieftain, not sure why, but I guess they have reasons of using it. Regardless, this time Feast seems to be going for a very, very C push. 9v all have speed boost activated, not sure whether that's a very, very quick push, trying to targeting the Vickers and T22 capping C, but that could be it though. That does seem like the plan of 9v, but they weren't able to capitalize on anything. Necromancer being very, very aggressive though, even though reactive armor on. AV in the 50B this time, taking down to a half health already. He's now getting lower and lower. Brawl already ensues at C-side, and XPA seems to be a focus of Feast right now, as the memes also chime in as well. Now 9v has 2 tanks out of the fight. That means they're in a definite hit point disadvantage, and also heavy DPM disadvantage. So XP goes down, Intel's also half health, Reaper also half health, even Mandalorian, even though he's now very, very low, there's a lot of low health in Feast side, but nobody's in the position to able focus fire and kill off any tanks. AV's gonna go down, Intel goes down, it's a 3 vs 7, this is probably Feast game, as there's not enough DPM to crawl back 2k, especially when they don't have, when they're not killing the tanks that they need to be killing. They need to start killing some tanks, otherwise this game is gonna go fully into Feast's favor. T22's now had to be in a 1 vs 2 situation. Z-Pack has both his shots reloaded. Blackie's now at 1 shot. He should go down now. And yeah, like the hit points are way too much to pull back, and it's all Feast game right now. There's a really, really quick attack from Feast, and I'm not sure what 9v was doing. I think probably just that a few seconds of hesitation, of just getting caught off guard, but that basically cost them the game. there's really nothing that I feel like even then I don't think 9V was expecting that push from Feast coming that early on in the game, and that really caught them off guard. As you can see, most of the 9V players can't even do 2k damage. Like that's how caught off guard they were. And looking at Feast side, every player um once again they're so carrying their own weight quite a bit. Um, like here and there, yeah. Like it's you can see the difference just from the scoreboard alone. You can see a few players dropping shots here and there, but like it's not really not really things that are that major because it's yeah. Um, I wonder why the replay is not on. But yeah, now it's tied 1-1 for Feast. So that was very nicely done. But yeah, like this very early push was very quick from 9V, but once we saw that 9V has two tanks out of the fight, they instantly counter push. Not sure how they got the information how the vehicles were out of the fight, but somehow they definitely got the information that they definitely got the information Asphalt was out of the fight, so they instantly capitalized on it. There's a definite DPM advantage in the favor of Feast, and they even caught like every tank in the crossfire. That went heavily, massively in the favor of Feast, as we can see. So it's title 1-1. We're now going to Fort Despair. Does Mandalorian only has a chieftain? Could be. Yeah, probably only has a chieftain, as he's still researching Vad Emil. So interesting to see a player like that using a chieftain only, and that's something. That's actually something. So now waiting for the plays to ready up. So all players should be ready up right now, and we'll be going to the first Fort Despair game. So, Feast this time bring triple Yos, and a mouse, and double IS4 and a Chieftain Mark 6. Well, 9V side, they're bringing pretty light lineup as well, but they have quadruple IS4, 1E5, 1 Crown Wagon, and 150B. Not sure what the 50B is used, but AV seems to be sitting in this push right here, and the triple S4 seems to already be picking a fight at middle. The Yo is gonna be very dangerous for 9v2, but Sugaban has bow with shots, and Mummy is now in a very big troublesome situation. He's got track, but his emergency reverse track helps him to go back very safely. And there's a definite hit point advantage on 9V's side, but they aren't able to capitalize it because most of their teams are out of this circle. So it will be up to 9V to make to sort of suffocate Feast from different angles. It does seem like everybody in 9V is making some sort of effort to sort of, you know, get something done. Reaper should be able to get Mamimoka's very soon if he wants to push, if he pushes in. But it doesn't seem like he's pushing in. He's pushing Twinshot and Sugu Mugen instead. So they're sort of being suffocating in the sense that they're trapping all Feast tanks in the open. And Roadblock is now having a fight with Leafy, so Roadblock should go down very soon. His surprise taking a lot of beating in the mouse, but Feast aren't able to do anything about it. The hit point is now 2-1 in the favor of 9V. So somehow Feast has dropped the ball massively by just sitting there and doing pretty much nothing. And Milk is now being basically still a one-shot, but he's not able to do anything for the past minute or so. So now he's gonna get taken down. His surprise should get taken down very, very soon. Mandalorian in the Chieftain in the middle of the fight right now. He should be the focus of 9V right now. Evo Boost missing the shot a bit, but I feel like this is just some very, very quick, some very, very brilliant punish from 9V. Just one tank overextending quite a bit in the form of Mummy Milkers, and then instantly 9V just go, yo man, you just gotta lose all your hit points. All of hit points are now mine. And look at this, finishing with 10k hit points in the end. That's a brilliant way to open up, to just literally pry open the defense. There's literally nothing the mouse could have done to stop, because 9V would, I think 9V were penning every single shot onto the mouse. Yeah, like look at the pen rate. Even nobody in 9V dropped below 80% pen rate, and that is just absolute brilliance. And everybody doing 2k above, that's even better, man. And look at the Feast side. We got a few tanks here and there doing less. Sugu doing only one shot, or penning one shot, but not even doing that damage. So things are looking very, very strange in Feast side. Like especially even Mum and Milk is getting caught as well. So things are looking, I would say, awkward at the very least. Like it definitely is awkward. To say the very least. And how 9V basically weren't getting punished after probably with the exception of XPA in the IS4. And that's probably the strangest thing I've seen so far in this tournament. Like you getting instantly deleted, and then you're just saying they're not having any counter to what 9V were doing. That is just really, really strange in my opinion. Like once Mimikus got caught, you can really see a point advantage or landsliding into 9V's favor. And things only get worse for Feast as they're unable to produce any response whatsoever. Like they were just basically stuck. Look at this cluster. At this point, look at this cluster. Look at 1 minute later, they're still in that cluster. That's basically a proof that Feast weren't able to come with any response. Like I wouldn't say they're out of answers, but it's just a proof that they were not able to produce any sort of response to what 9V just did. So that's, I would say, pretty nicely played from 9V, but I would feel like it's more of Feast dropping the ball massively, causing basically allowing 9V to just take advantage of it fully. So yeah, we're still going back to Fort Despair, but if 9V wins this once again, it's gonna be match point for them. So we're going back to Fort Despair once again. There's hidden surprise in the mouse. As usual, double yo as usual, 1 Mark 6 as usual, 1 IS4, 1 E5. Yeah, but most of them looks pretty well. Actually, there's a second mouse in form of silver, so they dropped one of the yos and brought another mouse. But on the other hand, 9V dropped an IS4 in favor of a mouse, so things are looking, I would say, pretty much more even. In terms of hit points, as you can see, there's only a 300 hit point advantage in favor of Feast. But then Feast are not consisting A corner whatsoever. So basically Sugu is getting free access onto C cap, while 9V is just getting free access onto A corner. So it's gonna be a bit of a interesting to see how both teams play this out, as you don't really see this sort of AC side stalemate much often. And if you see it, there will be ways to break this stalemate, but I think Feast have found their answer. This mouse could be the key to cracking open the C side a bit, as he's now getting caught off guard. He's now being focused, and doesn't seem like 9V are in any position to be able to help him. So he's gonna take a lot of hits before he's gonna be able to go back into safety. And it seems like Roblox using a 3-shot gun instead of the 2-shot, so that's gonna mean that his DPM is gonna be all the way to the maximum. Though the mouse does go down as I mentioned, he does get caught in a very sticky situation. So this health point is now 2k in the favor of Feast, and they also have a cap point advantage. So 9V needs to come with something in response. It doesn't seem like they're able to come up with anything in response, just like how Feast weren't able to come up with anything. Because they lost their mouse. They basically essentially have nothing to push back with. So this is gonna be a very, very sticky situation for 9V to try to get themselves out of. And I don't even think 9V has anything they can do. I don't even think they're up for response in any way, shape, or form. They might try cap B. I would say that's probably one of the way outs if they want to try it. But other than that, I don't see any way out for 9V as they're now being crossfire from many different directions. Mandalorian could be another good entrance for 9V to come back into this game, but he's being guarded by James. I guess barely, not really, but he could be a potential entry point for 9V to come back from this game. But as long as they don't cap B, they're not forcing any pressure onto Feast caps, and yeah, there's really nothing they were able to do. Hidden Surprise and F Silver's already pushing in, so there goes their chance of capping B, because now both tanks would have full B resets under their eyes. So yeah, I think 9V just didn't grab any timings, didn't grab any opportunities as to see them, and now they're just being forced to push in. Roadblock with the 3-shot auto loader. He's gonna be reloading his clip once again, even though only fired 1 shot. But XPA, Lethia, and AV is gonna be pushing into him. And then surprise capping B, and also pushing into 9 booster at the same time. Blackie's gonna be fighting Mandalorian single-handedly, solo 1 vs 1, but he seems like he's gonna be losing that fight. And hit points is still landsliding onto Fee's favor, and bouncing a shot from AV doesn't help as he takes 1.2 in return. One Milkers and Roadblock both in reloads. It does seem like Roadblock could go down very soon, but 9V has a lot of low health tanks, and this should be a Feast game once again. I feel like there's a very common theme with these two Fortress Spirit game is that one team are unable to produce any sort of response, or they weren't ready for the things that are coming their way, and they're paying the price by, and they were not even knowing that thing happened. They weren't able to produce any response after the fact that happened, and that basically where both teams lost their Fortress Spirit game. And I don't think either team outplayed at all. It's just more like the losing team weren't able to produce any response in time before they basically lost everything. So once again, it's a very interesting Fortress Spirit game, I would say. It's like as we can see, both teams again usual Feast this time having all of the players contributing quite a lot in the damage department. On 9V side, there's 2 players dropping below 1k, 3 players dropping 1k. So, and also I would argue probably the map control side of things are not really in 9V's favor, as once the mouse got caught in very early positioning, it's really, once you see a mouse in the positioning and you're not getting C control, he's basically prone to getting surrounded just like that. And getting that one tech disadvantage and your main pushing force taken down, you need to come up with something very, very quick. In this case, I feel like 9V should have taken the B cap, force the pressure from Feast. And if not, they should have actually pushed way earlier, because Feast was fully ready for any sort of response from 9V at that point, and it was simply way too late. They could have even pushed onto Mandalorian in meanwhile, but they were sitting in the open for way too long, and there goes their chance of winning the game. And there isn't really much to really commentate on, because it was just very one-sided in my opinion for these two games, that both teams were unable to capitalize on their willing to convert their mistakes onto opportunities that they can use in order to bring them back into the games. So that's how both teams lost their own fourth despair match. But now we're going to Middleburg is now 2-2, tied up. Whoever wins um this next coming round would have the luxury of sitting on match point, and can be laid back slightly bit as they have one more chance to take the entire match to themselves. So we're just waiting for Feast to ready up, and we're getting into the game very, very soon. It seems like Feast are switching up things a bit. But this seemed like things were sorted out. And I think they should be ready up very, very soon. Alright, so both teams are sorted, I assume. I'll be going into Middleburg. So this time Feast bringing one mouse, double crown, one e5, one is4, one Vickers, one chieftain. But on 9v side they're bringing pretty heavy, one e100, one mouse, triple crown, one is4, and 150b. And it seems like the main forces in double crown and is4 and 50b is already pushing onto a cap, and it does seem like they're not waiting for Feast to sit there and cap, but they rather just sit there and take the cap advantage. And sort of punishing and surprise for quite a bit of his hit point. But now entirety of Feast is already coming back down to sort of create a counter push. Intel and Reaper will want to get out of dodge before their health vanishes. And they are now safe, and Boosters in a very good spot to try to hold this push for at least give early warning of Feast push coming in. So things are gonna look very, very messy as both teams are in town. Is a probably good idea to start reloading Eclipse if you're a Crown and 50Bs, because there's gonna be a brawl coming in very, very soon. And even though 9v has a hit point advantage, they're now in a bit of a sticky situation with Intel and Reaper being in slightly inferior positionings. The Vickers light is now solo up there, so 9v's basically got a green light to push right now. Though Reaper is now being focused heavily, so he goes down without much contribution, and things goes back into Feast's favor for quite a bit, as they are able to secure C-cap as well as a one-tank advantage. Though his surprise now being heavily caught, so Intel able to put one more shot into him. So his surprise is going to be one shot for the remainder of this entire game. At the same time, Clutch is now also locking down this corridor. 9v is going to be putting themselves in a very, very strange situation as they're pushing into crossfire to crossfire, and as at least they're able to pull back the mouse kill, but it doesn't seem like it's going to help them in any way, shape, or form in the short term. Black needs to push in if he wants to be any use to the team right now. AV is going to get pushed by F Silver Mandalorian. And Booster will also need to sort of push Clutch away from this fight, one way or another. And it does seem like they're able to get they should be able to get Necromancer out of the fight soon. They do get them down, but Blacky's gonna go down to James, and 2 tank is now a 3 versus 6 right now, and things does not look good for 9v whatsoever. So this could be Feast game, and Feast should probably go to match point after this. I don't think there's much ways of 9v coming back from this game. As the hit point advantage goes to near to 5,000. And yeah, there's only booster left in a 1 versus 5 situation, and it doesn't seem like he's gonna be able to pull it back at all. So yeah, Feast does indeed get the match point. So, as we can see, like Feast once again pulling every player pulling their own shoes, which is a good thing to see. But at the same time, as we can see, like despite 9v getting every player above 1k, having I think Reaper going down very very early as by getting caught, that really cost 9v a lot of hit points. And yeah, it will get good players up above 1k damage, but that's really really painful if you're unable to you're getting caught very early on, because that means you're gonna have 1 tank disadvantage, going into the games, going into the remainder of the game, and that was not really ideal at all for a city hold, especially when you have the cap advantage. So that early push was really nice into denying the cap, but after this, Reaper was I would arguably probably made a misplay by swinging a bit too wide and being exposed to the guys at the back like James and Mandalorian and even Sugu, so he instantly gets taken down, and that was basically a turning point for this match. And it basically 9v just collapsed from there, since they lost the first crown and the second was able to contribute much, and things just start snowballing from there. So at this level, you really only just need one mistake to sort of start snowballing, and that was a perfect example of things snowballing just right after the first tank goes down. So yeah, like it was a slightly unfortunate play by Reaper, but at this level you gotta be expecting, if you make a mistake like that, you gotta get punished for it by Feast, as they do punish your mistakes very very severely, if you do not keep an eye on them. So we should be on our way to another middleback round, but this time there will be Feast on match point. So I guess around the same thing as the Feast, but this time you don't have a mouse to play with. So that might mean a slightly different gameplay plan. It would definitely be a very different game plan. But Blackie in 9v, it's gonna be using the VK72. It does seem like Feast is selling for sort of like a Trojan-like setup, but it doesn't seem like anything is gonna be here to welcome them. But yeah, both teams are gonna be fighting for the top control. F Silver just left C as he's getting shot at. But it does seem like things are gonna be very even, with 9v having a slight cap advantage, as they got A slightly earlier than Feast getting B. So Leafia is attempting to cap C. He might get shot by Necromancer and F Server, depending on how he positions his tank, but he's definitely prone to getting reset a few times. Though once Intel gets spotted, I think he's just gonna make a counter play, if not a pushback to C. It does seem like the latter was the choice that Feast are making instead. Though I don't think Intel's gonna be able to cap out the C cap safely unless Necromancer misses that shot, which he did, and 9v now has a 2 cap to 1. advantage over Feast. So Feast definitely has to push in by all means, and his surprise is slowly pushing in as well. But he's gonna have to play with Blackie, which wouldn't be fun for him by any means. So things are not looking good for Feast in this round. They're in a slight hit point, a cap disadvantage, and a bit of hit point disadvantage as well, as they don't have any super heavies in their possession. And yeah, like I think 9V's holding of C could be a interesting way for Feast to come back in, as I don't think 9V's holding the most optimal way in terms of the C side holding. So that could be a vulnerability that Feast could potentially exploit. But now as 9V goes back to strengthening their C defense, all they really want to do is all really Feast can do is try to cap, stop, but it doesn't seem like 9V are able to reset him. So things could get a bit interesting, as Feast is now going to be able to sort of sit back a bit again, but the tanks are relatively aggressive. So if 9V pushes right now, they gotta catch a lot of tanks off guard. But it doesn't seem like 9V is gonna be able to organize any push right now. And Feast is also getting a cap as well, so things are gonna be looking. It's gonna take a turn for worse for 9V in terms of cap pressure, as Feast is gonna be about to catch up in caps. And yeah, like they gotta overtake 9V in terms of cap points very soon. As of now, yeah, they do overtake 9V in terms of cap points. So 9V will have to make a sort of a counter play sooner rather than later, as Feast now takes this step into 800 cap points. 9V only just now started to make a counter move, which I believe is a bit too late, and as everybody in Feast are already loaded up, prepared for this. And it does seem like they're able to summon to C cap as well, so things are not looking good at all for 9V, as it's gonna be a 3 vs 1 fight for Blackie down there. So even though they're able to kill Necromancer, they won't shouldn't be able to get any more tanks any faster at this stage. It should be Feast round before too long, and Sugu, unless Sugu goes down quicker. Otherwise, I believe this would be a Feast game, and it is a Feast game indeed. So yeah, like I would say that was definitely a slight misplay from 9V's side. They weren't prepared to getting C cap stopped. As you can tell, none of the tanks were even in position to reset the cap, and they just let Feast got away with that, and they weren't even ready to kind of push back in right away. The calling there, I would say, a bit off. Timing was a bit off here and there. And yeah, just minor timings not being on point. That basically made the difference between most of the games of Feast and 9V. And this game, it does show that was the case, as a few players of 9V doing not a lot of damage. So that was alright, I guess. But I feel like it's not really the individuals that's costing 9V the games. It's more like the decision making in the macro level that are costing them it's costing them these games, as Feast were able to respond in the cap deficit very effectively. As you can see, they don't do anything extra, but they also do more than it. They just do more than enough just to make sure you can't sort of outplay them, and that's sort of like the safe gameplay that I'm pretty used to from Feast. As was even when I was back in there. This usually happens quite a lot in Feast game, and so you want to beat them, you're gonna have to go one step ahead, think one step ahead. So when they make that minimum play to cap stop you, you have to sort of make one step ahead play to not cap stop them, but you gotta make the play to be one step ahead and smash their cap stop. So when they start cap stopping you, you either prepare to reset so they give up the cap, or you kind of push right away so they all caught in very, I would say, aggressive positionings that they can't really react to it. Well, we didn't react to it, but they will have to take a lot of beating to react to it. So yeah, like it was cap point was in 9V's favor for the majority of the game, But once Hin surprisingly will slip the back lines and get to A cap of resistance, and also Necromancer was able to get C without getting reset. Now suddenly Feast got all 3 caps, and Knifey is being scrambled in a very late game scenario, being forced to scramble a push, as they're clearly not ready for such a move coming from Feast. I do believe you need to be covering your own bases, covering all bases if you are 9v, because what you're gonna do, you gotta have to think into your enemy's shoes in this case, um, as to what they're gonna do. Uh, like you're in cap advantage. Obviously, what Feast gonna be doing is gonna be trying to cap stop you. They're not gonna be pushing into you directly if they have to. That's when you have the cap stops and they're forced to push you, because if you're a bit too ahead of yourself, you have to be. They will get the caps back, and now you're the ones that have to push back in. So things are definitely not looking very well for 9v, but it was a good show regardless. They were able to get 2 points off Feast. Um, so it was a valiant attempt regardless. So I would say that was a show well done, rather than being a one-sided show. So yeah, we'll be back in 15 minutes. Going to watch another match, which should be. I'm not too sure what match it will be today, but it appears to be we'll be streaming King vs GV instead of 9v vs TTG. So we'll be hopping out of this room. We'll be going to another room. So it seems like DTG's TV is still going. So we'll be sitting out for quite a bit. I'm gonna go grab some water. I'll be back in probably 2 minutes, and we'll probably play some Uprising games in various different tanks, and start farming free XP. All right. We got some birthdays to clear. We got some times 5 to do before next game. Are we playing on PC? Actually, I can't be. Ooh, that T92 is dead meat already, I guess. How is he hitting me for 320? Is that 105? I should go farm a bit. How's that not a pen again? Can someone remind me what's happening? Okay, let's go down. I think I have enough farming for now. I'm gonna get some abilities done. Let's hope I get some. What are awesome ones? Oh, you miss. So that's something. Inferno. Oh, I can't get both. Okay, then I probably could have farmed a bit more before I actually went in. That was a mistake a bit. But probably Inferno is better than anything else because goes boom. Whoa. Okay. Imagine ramming me for that much, man. That hurts, but what can I do? Wasn't. He was using a skill I wasn't, so. So fuck you. I'm going back in like that. That's why I expected. That's why I expected, man. Bro, why are you pushing me? Aw. Hey, can't move at all. Why did I not have my little masking shit on? Hey, I did 9.9, that's all I need. Or even 10k probably. So, why am I complaining? But this spent a lot more time than I expected. So, come on, kill him already. Oh no. Yep. The room should be ready by now, and we'll be going back into the room and watch the next stage of the tournament. So indeed, I did 10k, and that was already basically better than your team. And as I remember, the rising of the massive XP you can get if you got XP boosters and shit. So definitely give it 5 times a go. You want to farm a lot, like tons. I mean, um, also tons of uh, credits as well. I got 330k just from that game. 273k because it's times 2. So that's pretty nice. Light tank. That's very insured and missile. So let's change up the names. Is King versus GV, because that would be our matches today. Actually, I think we can check our battle results on Uprising. Yeah, so I did 96% of the penetrations. That's pretty nice. 4 kills, 10k damage, and yeah, like you can see everything from the battle results. So that's pretty nice, to be honest. I like it. It of course is still in development, and things are subject to change. For that little fancy feature. I would say it would definitely look just better by next time. When I said next time, not tomorrow or anything, but probably when I have the time to work on it, I'll work on it more. Just to make sure everybody gets to use this amazing piece of battle result. Just little details of streaming tournaments that just makes it looks a lot better. I feel like it just gives you a lot of insight of the games more than just damage. I feel like if you do it correctly, that is, because you could definitely show a lot more things from the game itself than just damage and nothing else. So yeah, I feel like I'm going in a pretty good direction. And this game is gonna go into another direction, I would say. As this game is likely to go into either direction. I feel like as both teams are pretty strong in that regard. So it's JV versus King. First match win Castilla. But yeah, like this will be a second round robin round. So, with a Leopard 1 on GV's side, that's gonna be interesting. Because that is not usually the tank you would bring in a tournament match, let alone in a Castilla match. But it seems like you're just doing a very early spawning run. So maybe he doesn't have a Vickers or something like that, or you're just thinking Leopard is slightly better for his job. I don't know, but it does not really bode well. At least does feel good in my mind. For using a Leopard instead of Vickers doing that job. Other than that, there hasn't been any caps being taken for the time being, so yeah. GV is consisting A though, so they might actually get away uncontested and able to get one cap for practically free. So King will have to play with a cap disadvantage, which is not a good thing, especially when GV has a mouse to stop the push. GV is rather aggressive on the top as well, so things are not looking amazing for King. As they're unable to, they will get C, but it's gonna be a slight cap of disadvantage in the favor. The disadvantage is gonna be not in the favor of King. It's gonna be in the favor of GV. And yeah, things are not looking amazingly well. As King is also working with a hit point disadvantage to play to begin with, as they don't have a mouse, and they also bring in E3, which only decreases your hit point pool because is not heavy tank. Though the Blitz are mostly coming from GV's side, so that's gonna be slightly interesting to see how this game develop. As King slowly but surely closes that little hit point gap they had in the beginning. So it's now just under 2k hit point gap. And things would probably look for the better if King is able to keep this up. But still, with the captive advantage, they will have to do something not amazingly, but I would say probably keep bleeding the tanks, and you will get somewhere, I guess. So that's exactly what they're doing with the mouse, Yakuza. And And it just seemed like GV's now just blind shooting, trying to get information on where a King would be. It doesn't seem like King is really anywhere. So, yeah, that's gonna be a pretty interesting fight to have. And King does seem like they're also capturing B with Elon, trying to, I would say, just trigger a reaction to see what GVs are doing, but he doesn't get a reaction, so he's probably gonna go back to cap once again, as Yakuza takes a bit more hit for his troubles. Berlin also taking a bit more hits as well, so the hit point now is back to is now basically down to a 1k difference, so it's virtually nothing at this stage. But Demon got spotted, so he's gonna be in a very, very tricky position if he pushes up a bit. He's gonna get shot. He's gonna be prone to getting shot by either IS4 or the Vickers or the hill. He's gotta be careful though. The cap point is still slowly ticking up. 640, around 630 for both teams. 620 for King. Though King is trying to guess where the enemies is gonna be, but it doesn't seem like anything's gonna be at sector 1. So that guess from King is gonna be wrong, unfortunately. Though the identified demon is still there. So they're taking advantage of that and put a bit of hit points into it. So hit point advantage is now down to 700. Probably back up a bit with that hit taken from Roni. But other than that, things are looking slightly better for King, as they are very close to VCAP. And if Yakuza's can be suppressed, I think Elon would be able to get B without issues. But that all depends on where GVs actually react to this, as Nomads and Demon are making a move. It does seem like they're posturing for either a heal push or just defensive push. Yokio taking a big, massive hit, though they're able to successfully reset Elon, but that's all they need, because not a hit point advantage on King's favor. They can force they can sort of start to force the fight and not being too worried about the hit points anymore. As Tokyo keeps getting dropped and Yakuza are also starting to be isolated, this might be King's opportunity that they need in order to secure a tank advantage. GV in their other hand though is posturing for a heal push, so they might actually get Arid and Extremist, though it does seem like King would be able to get Yakuza for free before that happens. And they're not penning Eren at all, so Eren is still staying alive, being very, very healthy. So the King is buying a lot of time with these two E5s, and Tokyo would be going down very, very soon. So that we're focusing on Extremist and Eren. Eren is now one shot, though they've bought so much time that even if GV kills them right now, Berlin bounces that shot might not even be enough. So yes, it's a 2-tank trade, but Tokyo dropping down the river, that might help GV quite a bit. But now King is in 940, hit 940 cap points. GV just pushing like a train, choo-choo train onto B cap. Doesn't seem like they're able to get the cap stop onto B at all. And there's also C cap taking, and Berlin's down one shot as well. So if King is able to get the kill shot onto Berlin, they're done. But it doesn't seem like Nomad's also able to get it into C cap in time. So regardless of the result, it's King getting 1 point first. So that was pretty nicely done by King, and also I would guess probably GV dropping the ball massively there in terms of the focus, fire, and penetration of the shots, as the 2 E5s from King was able by enormous amount of time. So even Morphic doing 0 damage, that doesn't really matter, because Extremist and Arid, they basically single-handedly survived long enough to basically win King of the round. As you can see, 3 players from GV having a subpar penetration game today. And yeah, it's not looking good for GV whatsoever, as they were unable to penetrate the tanks they're supposed to be penetrating. So despite having a hit point and cap point advantage at start, they were able to capitalize because mostly those shots were not penning and they're not converting those penetrations. So like naturally they basically lost the game by by not penetrating those shots. So, like, Elon was able to get B rather successfully without losing much HP. But look at those bounces. Like, Aaron was able to survive, like, took a lot of beating before he even started taking any hits, any damage from those hits. So it was not looking good. It's definitely not looking good for GV whatsoever. Other than that, yeah, everything is looking pretty nice for King's side. It's actually having pretty nice focus fire in most of the fights. So they basically outclass GV in many different fights. And E5 staying alive long enough, that basically bought them enough time for the fights for the win. And that's basically the gist of that first Casino game. So it's now 1-0 up for King. Alright. Now, back to Casilla, with a 1-0 advantage for King's side.
Let's get this show on the road.
No, King's now bringing a grill, so they're still bringing TDs. Despite them bringing in a pretty, I wouldn't say significant, but rather quite a bit of a hit point advantage. But Yogain is going very aggressive onto the B ramp, and it does seem like he's gonna be able to get a lot of different information from King's side, as they weren't even crossing, the rivers yet. So he's gonna spot quite a lot of information for GV to work with. But it does seem like Berlin is playing very aggressive, and having Arid in this spot is going to be very useful, as he's going to be able to suppress the cap from GV, hopefully? No, he bounces, so GV's going to get C for free, even though Officer's in the open, completely in the open. But Nomad's in the T22 getting caught quite a bit. He might be in a sticky situation as he goes out, but I feel like he's going to still survive this for quite a bit. He's reverse side scraping. That should still be alright for him. So the hit point advantage now is already slightly back into the favor. Still in the favor of GV, but King pulled back quite a bit. Though Officer and the other GV guys are posturing for sort of a push onto Arid. So things are looking amazing for King, as B-Cap's also getting captured at the same time. Yakuza might be able to get B-Cap for free, not really. But GV King will have to be careful, because any shot they bounce from here, it would mean that Yakuza would get the cap. So you have to be very careful with how King play this one. Though King is looking to also posturing for a counter push, but does not seem like GV is able to push in just yet. Not sure what shots Arid are getting in, but they're definitely pretty nice shots. Ooh, Berlin's getting focused quite a bit. 1.3k hit points taken off him, so now hit point advantage in the favor of King. Almost 2k hit point advantage as well. So things aren't looking good for GV, as they're overextending into crossfires. And Demon and T22, Nomad is also exposing themselves quite a bit. So yeah, the Blitz just continues for GV. And things are definitely not looking well for GV. Though King is also taking quite a beating here and there. But by positioning wise, I feel like GV has a disadvantage right here, as 3 of their tanks are stuck in a semi-crossfire and prone to getting even more shots by the Vickers and stuff. Berlin might go down very soon, as he's only at 12 health. Arid might be able to get the shot off if he aims correctly, though he's getting shot by Yogan as well. He's not getting the kill shot. He should stop trying to poke for the kill shot because he's just probably losing more hit points for King right now. And I think GB has found the way to stop bleeding right now. Um, and things might start looking slightly better for GV now, even though they have a slight hit point disadvantage. They pull that back, but it's still there's a bit of hit point disadvantage going in the favor of um still in the favor of King, but I guess it might be slightly better for GV right now. But now time is for GV to push in quite a bit, as there's no more crossfire in the form of the Crown Wagon, so they're not being very comfortable with how they're doing. Though I don't think they're able to reset B in this case. Elon goes down, so there's definitely no resets going on to Yakuza. So GV's now set to success for this round, as they're getting 2 caps as opposed to 1, and they also get quite a chunky. They also pull back the hit point advantage and now got a tank advantage as well. They might actually get 2 tank advantage very soon, as Winston goes down and Aaron also about to go down in the Krang Wagon. He does go down, and yeah, like this is a very scrappy game from GV's side, but I feel like it's Kane dropping the ball. Despite them having a hit point advantage, they keep trying to poke for even more shots, and then that cost them quite a lot in the end. And yeah, it's just basically GV cleaning up now. It's only 40 points for GV to win this. So even though King is killing the tanks, they won't be able to kill the remaining tanks quick enough to make any difference, I feel like. Unless they're able to make heroics to cap B and also start killing tanks, but no, Extremist goes down, and GV will get this, we'll tie it up 1-1. So, yeah, Berlin doing a bit less damage than other players, but that's to be expected as he was very low from the beginning. But at the same time, like, you gotta really be careful what you're doing because, as you can see, even though King got a very massive hit point advantage, well, I don't say massive, but like quite a bit of hit point advantage, they still sort of threw that advantage away by just overexposing themselves for kill shots when they can just keep on the pressure, um, just by literally doing nothing, but just by being there. So since Arid, like they're able to get the shots off, but they're not able to get the key shots in. So that means Arid takes all of hits, he's forced to back off, and now just basically you got one less prong in the crossfire, and that basically meant GB is now a lot more comfortable in pushing into the C corner, and that basically gave them way back in. And I feel like the Casino tanks up there could easily be a lot more aggressive the entire game, as they weren't able to take most of the shots onto Yakuza once Elon goes down, and that basically allows them to get the cap relatively for free. And yeah, they weren't even there for the fight while GB was cleaning up, so things was definitely not looking amazing for Kang, as they were dropping the ball quite a bit there. So yeah, it's tied 1-1. But Kang would definitely want to review how they play out these games, as Jiwoo was playing very passive, I would say. Might even be just passive enough to bait King into false sense of security and push in, and then screwing themselves up. So things are definitely looking good. For GV right now. But it's now Alpenstadt, so things might change for better or for worse, depending on how these teams play it out. Though this seems like GV is taking a very, very heavy lineup towards the C cap, the double mouse setup as well in that sense. So yeah, like things might look a bit ugly at Seaside, but it doesn't seem like King is contesting C at all, having Winston spotting the crossing. So he definitely gets the idea like what the Chibi doing, and capping C by Demon definitely gives all of the story away. So King would be able to get that A cap earlier than GB getting C, so that would mean a slight cap advantage in favor of King. So Arid is now taking some fights into B cap, as is double capping Mouse into B. The Arid bouncing that shot might mean GB would get the cap. So that would be 2 cap on 1, and Arid also taking a beating. Doesn't seem like anybody from King is able to help him out. It's massively getting caught out of position is Arid. So King is now scrambling for sort of like a response, but they're not even in position to farm any tanks as they all crossed over already. They need to come and help the Mouse, otherwise he's gonna go down for free. So he does go down for free. Next would be Winston. If King is not worried about him. Doesn't seem like King is still in position to help their team yet. That'll be way too late when that happens, and they'll be in 2-rank disadvantage before they're even able to kill the first tank of GVV. So they killed Berlin, but it's a wonderful. It's gonna be his second tank going down for King without any response. And I don't think King is gonna be able to convert these very quickly. As GV is already really turning back for them. Tokyo might go down very, very soon, but that will be depending on Roni, where he can put all 3 shots in very, very effectively and quickly. But it does not seem like there's anybody shooting Tokyo at the same time. So Tokyo could go down 1 shot. But why are you dropping down? Why are you guys dropping down? Yeah, but King is just getting punished for doing these moves on trying to focus fire right now. Morphic goes down. Officer takes out Extremist, but Officer might go down very, very soon, though is now a 3 vs 5 and 4 hit point advantage in favor of GV. So things is definitely looking good for GV at the moment. And Elon Musk is going to go down, hit cap points 960 in favor of GV, and this would be a GV win, I feel like. Yeah, it indeed is a GV win. I feel like King wasn't ready despite seeing double mouse capping, so the mouse had time to cap the base and kill their mouse, and even by then, King wasn't ready to have a response in place for the mouses, and that's, I feel like, is a massive misplay for King, as that basically meant that you basically gave 2 tanks for free. So you can see Winston doing only 725, Aaron only doing 971, and everybody else doesn't seem to even be in the fight for the entire game. So yeah, like that's pretty unfortunate to me. That really happened. And everybody in GV did do quite well, like as they were able to do quite a lot. But yeah, like this massively getting caught. So the time is 6 minutes 16 when GB stepped into the cap, but even until 5:40, 5:39, and even when Winston getting pushed 5:34, that's nearly a minute, and you still don't have your response to actually kill the first tank of. Now, only by now they're able to kill the first tank, because of Berlin pushing down to the river. If Berlin didn't push down to the river, he wouldn't have died as well. So that was a massive drop of the ball from King's side. Almost 1 minute, and they weren't able to provide a response to the situation, and I would say that would be an indication of slight messiness in comms, or even planning side of things, as that usually entails quite a lot of issues if you aren't able to provide a response in a 1 minute time frame. Like that's a lot of time that you could have used. But my game has crashed once again, so we'll be taking a bit of a time going back in. Um, so we're back. So this time King bring a T50 double T57 heavy. That's gonna be an interesting gameplay that we'll be seeing here. Not sure what the T57 heavies are up to, but they're certainly not gonna catch anything as Shivi doesn't put anything in the town, or except the exception of the mouse. But they seem like they're able to burn him down quite a lot as Winston not able to do any damage with those two shots. So they both go into a reload, and it does seem like that was really worth it. As yeah, I don't really think that was worth it, as GP now once again will be able to get the B cap relatively for free. When are they gonna step in, and will King will it take too long to make a response once again? GP now is pushing very aggressively onto the A side of King. Seems like they identify that King does not have any tanks into there again. Elon taking a massive hit. He's now a 2-shot essentially, but having Rector might make him a 3-shot. But that doesn't really change the matter at all, because King is now taking a massive beating. And they're now being forced to concede a lot of grounds, and GV is just now pushing the advantage right now. They're able to see how Elon Musk and Sora will be able to isolate Extremis as well. Extremis would go down sooner rather than later. Though Berlin now is being traded, but hit points are now massively in the favor of GV. And they weren't able to take down Yakuza, so that's definitely some failure of a trade right there. Nomad seems to be taken down very quickly if Dalai wants to go Roni to push to Nomad, but he doesn't seem like he wants to. He just was making a run for it. So, but Roni can't be affording to miss any shots right here, as he needs to take down the T-22, bouncing a second shot as well. Yakuza is still alive in kicking, though he finally goes down, but it's a bit too late as it's a 7k hit point advantage in favor of GV right now. This certainly is going to be a third point for GV, I feel like. There's no way King can pull us back, even if the T-7s are heavy, all paying their shots right now. So Demon does go down, but that wouldn't help this still doesn't help at all, as Aritz now is going to go down very quickly. So it's going to be 2 versus 4 in a 2 1-shot 57 heavy. You get double tapped, and you gotta go down. So yeah, that's going to be 3-1 for GV. That is, I would say, another drop of the ball from King. They were not ready to receive a push from GV at all. Not sure why, but like, I would think once you're able to collect some information from the A side of things, we should be able to determine that they're making a push. And look at that, there's 3 tanks in King's side doing nearly 0 damage. The Vic is doing 0. That's gonna be something new. And Elon getting caught in the E5 doing 0. He probably should have made a fight there instead of trying to make a run for it. And also Extremis doing very low because he's the second tank getting caught. Like, yeah, like you're getting caught, but do you know why you're getting caught? That's gonna be the massive question for King to figure out right here, because I feel like that's gonna be a real question King should be asking themselves, because knowingly they should have the information they need. So Extreme is getting the spots, and Elon's getting the spots in, but as again, there was no response from King's side when that push happened, and Elon even made a run, tried to make a run for it. That's really a massive mistake, I feel like, as that basically allowed JV also focus you guys from the front instead of having to deal with you in multiple different angles, which would cost them more time, possibly more health as well. So that basically allows them to just channel into one side, and just basically kill you, and things just snowball from there, and they aren't able to convert on C22. The Vickers was just dying, doing nothing. So yeah, like I would say it's a bit of a bold drop from King once again. Um, but yet then it happens. So yeah, is my game crash again? Really? Seriously? I'm just gonna restart the game again, bro. Can you just respawn, game? Can you respawn? Just respond to me, man. Okay, we're back again. But it's 3-1 for GV. That means match point for GV. And going to New Bay, it's a whole new different map. So King will have to work on a whole totally new information. So they're bringing double Yos, one mouse to Kranwagen E5 IS4, though GV is bringing double mouse once again, as GV is proven to be, has shown us that they're very, very proficient in multiple mouse gameplay. So it might be GV's game to lose right here, as they bring a very, very solid lineup for this map. I'm not sure how King were able to utilize the double Yos, but I guess they will have something in the plan for these two tanks. It does seem like both the Yos are using the 120 mil. Does seem like they're ready to shoot the crossing, so the two shots of the Yo is gonna be massively disadvantaged. Though they're not hitting their shots though, so that's gonna be very, very bad for the health, because now GB is able to get B. Those will get C for free, and they weren't even paying for it in terms of hit points. So having the Yos missing their shots, that's gonna be massive in terms of letting GV taking a lot of map control. And that's gonna be that's good. The Yo's gonna be punching themselves in the head, like, because they have to connect those shots no matter what, because they're the Yos. They're meant to connect those shots any time of the day. So missing those shots aren't gonna help you at all. So GB now is 2 cap as opposed to none of King. So King has to make a lot of work, put a lot of work into even crawl back any cap advantage whatsoever. So it's gonna be the work is cut out for King. There's work cut out for King. And all GB has to do right now is just sit tight and wait for King to make a move. Does seem like Ara's already making a move, seeing a bit of hit coming in. Though he's in a very exposed lane, so GBs can all poke him at once and make him bleed for good. Does seem like King wants to push all from their spawn, so things could look a lot messy very, very soon. Winston's now leading in charge. Dalai also pushing in. Morphic capping C with Dalai in seconds of time. Though it's gonna be a massive brawl ensuing. There's still no massive bleed going anywhere yet. Though Demon and Yakuza is now taking down Arid. Officer's taking a heavy beating, 2.1. There's gonna be 1-for-1 trade at most. slightly in the favor of King in terms of hit points, but since the Yos are reloading, things might go back into GV's favor if King don't focus fire properly. He seemed to be focus firing Yoga and Govinda. Does seem like that's the case, though one of the Yos already went down, so things gonna get messy. Yogan's gonna be a 2-shot. He's gonna go down very, very soon. Demon also taking a bit of beating. Yoga does go down. Next tank, they're not sure what tank they gotta take down. Though now hit point advantage now go back into GV's favor as the Crown Dragons DPMs now starting to come to effect. That we have the Crown Dragons being very, very low in DPM, and that would make King's DPM effectively DPM pretty low. And as you can see, the advantage now is starting to lean back onto GV's favor. And the elements goes down. It's gonna be 3 versus 4. The T20 has to go. Roni can't be bouncing these shots or missing. So this shot should be probably seal the fate of King if he misses or took too long for a shot. Nah, that would be GV's game any time of the day. So yeah, that will be that should be GV taking the win, 4-1. So yeah, Roni does go down. It's a 4-1 victory in GV's favor. So, looking at GV's game results, despite Berlin doing 0 damage, they got 4 players doing 3k above, and that basically counteracts doing 0 damage, I guess. But looking at King's side, despite all players doing pretty nicely in terms of damage, but they aren't really converting a lot. Like especially the collapse into the GV forces, I feel like they bounce quite a bit here and there, and that's really not going to bode well, especially the initial bleed. The Yos were not connecting the shots they're meant to connect, and that basically meant that GV had a lot of hit points to play with, and possibly even if the Yos connect one more shot in the early game, that could have changed the game massively, as we can see in the middle to late game. It was basically just 1k hit points in it, and because that 1k hit points missing, in the advantage of GV had that 1k hit point on a certain tank, that basically meant GV King now has to play with lower DPM tanks like the Crown Dragons, and basically you have to be playing in a disadvantage for longer times. That basically just snowballs the DPM effect that GV has on the game, and it was not pretty. So you can see, even though King has a hit point advantage now, just because. Wait a second, was that Amarak? That could not be right. 1280. Nah, that's not him, Amarak. That's just getting focus fire. So yeah, like that's not even focus fire, it's just focus fire. Like at this stage, the hit point you start to get worried about King because the hit points start to go back into GV's favor, because they got the Crown Bug and they aren't able to deliver all the DPMs out, and the mobility of T22 is still alive for GV. So once Roni was able to connect and taking too long to take down Demon, that basically was GV's any time of the day. So yeah, like that's basically, once Roni starts taking too long for our T22 fight, that basically is its end. That's the end for Kane. There is no way they can come back from that, because the mouth is really hang on life support, and there's no way, yeah, that they can come back from that. So yeah, that was pretty nicely played from GV, I would say. that was a pretty nice game from GV, I would say. King dropping the ball a bit here and there. Um, and I feel like King could have done easily a lot better if they're able to react quicker. At least paying the shots slightly better. That would even make a lot of difference in my opinion. So yeah, that's the game today. Um, Pretty exciting ones. They're also pretty disappointing ones, I would say. Um, Pretty nice games overall. As we witnessed today. So tomorrow's gonna be uh a rest day for everybody, and we'll come back onto Friday. Um, as we go for another 2 round robin matches. Um, so yeah. I'll probably play a bit more Uprising then.
Looks like that one went right through. We got him. Critical hit. Vehicle destroyed.
Hmm. I'll probably take Phantom only. I won't be able to ram any attack anyway, so yeah.
Enemy armor is damaged. They're hit.
Hmm.
Enemy armor is damaged. He is gone. Find us another target. Enemy is hit. Enemy is hit. We got him. That one didn't go through. Enemy armor is damaged. They're hit. Punched right through their armor.
Oh wait, it's still APCR. What the hell?
Penetration.
That's gonna cost me a lot of fucking credits.
We finish him off. This vehicle is
That's gonna cost me a lot of credits for firing all those gold. Holy shit. Bro, how you use your skill? Oh no! Oh, that's gonna be something. Inferno bow. Yo, that's gonna be amazing, man. That's gonna make a big boom, man. That's gonna be making a big boom. Where's the TD though? I think that TD farmed quite a lot, man. There's literally nobody shooting at him. Hi. What? Oh, the light bulb thing. Hmm. Yeah, let me win this one, man. Let me win this one. I forgot I still have one more life. Yes. I think that's mine. I think this one is mine. And no matter what, I think I would be able to get him first. Hmm. I should just play very, very safe here. This should be my game. This should be mine. There's no way that ISU would outplay me. Yeah, I don't think. I got camo net. I got literally all the advantages I need right now. There's one shot and he's just basically gone. Come on, come to me, bro. Okay, now he's gonna have no more cloaking. So it's now my time to look for him. Because I have to worry about the first 30 seconds. If he finds me in the first 30 seconds, I'm done. But if he doesn't, and he just sits there and try to farm, I have the advantage. Okay, fuck. That aim went way too like. That went way too fast, man. Yeah, at 9.9. 8.5. Ugh. If only my LTTB wasn't AFK. Shit. I got outplayed myself. Anyway, that was a pretty nice one. I probably should play on fucking touch instead. Eh. Either way. That would be the day. That would be a stream for today, I guess. And I guess I'll see you guys on Friday, hopefully. So yeah. See